Out of all the potential Olympic movies to be covered this year, I believe Chariots of Fire is the most fitting. You see, when narrowing down the list of candidates, I soon learned that the journey of this specific film culminates in the 1924 Paris Olympics, marking this year's Olympics its centennial anniversary. And in Paris, no less. That's when I knew I had to do this one. Chariots of Fire is a sports drama that is based on a true story that follows two athletes on their way to the 1924 Olympics. They are Eric Liddell and Harold Abrams. Eric Liddell's journey is marked by his internal battle between running and following the word of the Lord. Harold Abrams struggles with an external battle of prejudice due to his Jewish faith. Eric Liddell was born in Tientsin, China, to Scottish missionaries. By the time he enrolled in college, he had made a name for himself for his speed that earned him the nickname the Flying Scotsman. In 1924, as he was gearing up to represent Great Britain, there was one small issue. The 100-meter race he was set to run was going to be set on a Sunday. You know, the day of Sabbath in Christianity. His devotion would not allow him to compete. As a compromise, he then switched to run in the 400 meters, to which he ended up winning gold and setting a new world record. And this is the story that was used as a narrative. In an interview literally posted a few weeks ago, producer David Putnam discusses the number of inspirations that helped mold Chariots of Fire. He begins with an early obsession with comic character named Alf Tupper. Alf is a character that is an exceptional runner who consistently overcame adversity to achieve athletic success. Next came the story of Ann Packer. Ann was a sprinter in the 1964 Olympics that won silver in the 400 meters and was persuaded to run in the 800 meters, to which she won gold. By the following Monday, she was in a school classroom teaching to her students. Producer Putnam recalls that all these stories were in the back of his mind, that when he read a piece about Eric Liddell in an Olympic paper, he knew that he finally found a narrative to tell. He contacted screenwriter Colin Welland to write this story. Welland went above and beyond researching the subject and contacting anyone that was involved in the 1924 Olympics. Unfortunately, Welland had missed his opportunity for a first-hand account due to the fact that Harold Abrams had passed away mere weeks beforehand. Regardless, with the help of the public through the use of newspapers, Welland was able to gather enough information to finish the script. With the script finished, we'll time jump to when the film had wrapped and is being edited, where it achieves its memorable status. I'm talking about the legendary theme. Well, you've heard of it. You probably haven't been aware where it's from, but I'm confident in saying that you've heard of it before. The story of how it became to be is well documented as well. The story goes that David Putnam was friends with Vangelis and always wanted to work with him. Incredibly, Vangelis' father competed in the same Paris Olympics that Chariots of Fire takes place in as a sprinter. He understood the film and created the Oscar-winning theme as a tribute to his father. The theme was added late into the film, but only in the opening and ending scenes, as editing was practically done by that point. Chariots of Fire was released on March 30th, 1981 in the UK. The movie has a runtime of 124 minutes and is rated PG. In genre, it is classified as biography, drama, and sport. With a budget of $5.5 million, it grossed a worldwide total of $59 million. I don't think Box Office Mojo adjusts it for inflation, so this is straight out of the 1980s. IMDb has it scored at 7.1 out of 10, and on Metacritic it is sitting at a 78. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's at 84% with the critics and an 80% with the audience. Roger Ebert praised the film, calling it superb and the year's best film, stating that he was deeply moved by the picture. Gene Siskel enjoyed the film as well, however, wouldn't go as far as calling it great. To say that the movie was a success is an understatement. The movie was nominated for 7 Oscars at the 54th Academy Awards in 1982. The nominations were for Best Director, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Film Editing. It won in the Best Original Score, Best Screenplay, Best Costume Design, and the most prestigious of them all, Best Picture. Ben Cross was born on December 16, 1947 in London, England, and passed fairly recently in August 18, 2020. He takes the role of Harold Abrams, who is an English Jew who runs to overcome prejudice. Prior to Chariots of Fire, he was in a number of stage plays where his performance in Chicago gained him a recommendation to play Harold. After the film's success, he went on to star in The Assisi Underground, released in 1985, followed by The Unholy, which was released in 1988. Ian Charleson was born on August 11, 1949 in Edinburgh, Scotland. He plays the role of Eric Little. Just like his screen partner, Charleson started as a stage actor that was discovered in his role on Piaf and signed on for the film. After the film, he went on to work in another Academy Award-winning film, Gandhi. Afterwards, he went on to work on Ascendancy, released in 1983. Director Hugh Hudson was born on August 25, 1936 in London and sadly passed away in 2023. He made a career as a director, producer, and screenwriter. Prior to Chariots of Fire, he worked in advertising and television commercials. Chariots of Fire, for which he was nominated Best Director, was his debut feature film. Afterwards, he went on to work on Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes in 1984, which was then followed by Revolution in 1985. All these elements come together to create Chariots of Fire. The film opens with the funeral of Harold Abrams in 1978 before it flashes to a group of runners running down the beach to the iconic Vangelis score. Through a bit of internal monologue being narrated, we jump back to 1919 to the beginning of the school year in Cambridge. Our narrator, Harold Abrams, has challenged the college dash, which is running around the perimeter of the courtyard within a certain time frame. He crushes the challenge, being the first one to do so in over 7 centuries, yet not without anti-Semitic comments. Next, we are introduced to Eric Little in the countryside, and we see that his sister disapproves of his running. Eric sees his speed as a gift from God and says that it's his sacred duty to use said gifts. Due to his talents, he is persuaded to run for the Olympics. We see him running competitively and giving sermons for his post-race interviews. We switch back to Abrams, where he propositions a coach to help him win gold, stating that he's fast, but with his help, he knows he can be faster. The coach doesn't agree to it and instead tells him that he'll watch him run, and if there's potential, then he'll help him. Both men are shown winning a number of races montage style until they finally meet face to face in preparation for a race. In his first race against Eric, Abrams loses to him and takes the loss rather hard. Demoralized, Coach Sam Musabini takes on the runner, encouraging him to practice. Both runners continue to race until they each qualify to represent their country. We jump ahead to the British team's departure date when Eric discovers the disturbing news that his race will be held on Sunday. He firmly concludes that he will just have to miss the race. In one of the more iconic scenes in the movie, Eric Little had made it known that the Sunday race is an issue and has chosen to not participate. As a result, he is brought in to meet with the Prince of Wales, the president of the Olympic Association, and the chairman. Against immense pressure, Eric stands firm in his beliefs.
I won't run on the Sabbath, and that's final.
One of the athletes, Lord Lindsay, suggests that Little runs the 400 meter in place of him on Thursday as a possible resolution. Everyone agrees to this perfect solution and the games continue. Harold's race event is first, and his training with his coach proves to be effective as he wins the race. Next up is Little's event. Little's is expected to lose for a number of reasons, yet not only does he finish the race in first place, but he does so while breaking the world record. The flashback set in the opening of the film ends with a celebration, and we return to the funeral to close out the film. Through text, we learn what happened to the remaining lives of both men.